Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lori, the face behind Entre Tejidos Crochet and Lori's Crafty Corner. Today's video is going to be kind of like a day in the life of a crafter, because I plan on taking you along for the ride as I finish up some safety eye orders. That's the first thing on the docket. The second thing will be that we're going to organize years 2016 and 2017 right over there in my scrapbook layouts. And then the other thing that we're going to do is try and finish some pattern tests that I have. This video might have a lot of time lapses, but I will voice over them and take you along for the ride, because I just want to share how much I can get done in a morning or for much of the day, and then we will recap everything. A little bit of an update. Yours truly does not listen to her own advice. Over the past couple of crochet videos, I've mentioned that I have cut back on pattern testing. I don't know when it happened, I don't know why or how it happened, but I applied for pattern tests and I got picked for 8 of them, which is amazing. I'm truly flattered, because these plushies are just super cute. And as I've mentioned time and time again, I love helping others, testing out their patterns, and just being, involved. Slight issue with this is that all 8 of them are due in March, and about half of them are due this week, with 2 more due next week. And I'm also having my lacy farmhouse blanket pattern tested. I need to finish a baby blanket for a baby shower. I also have to design 3 patterns for 3 crochet alongs that I signed up for. Whoops. But it's all good. It's all good, because even though I didn't stick to my own advice to hey, don't sign up, don't bite off more than you can chew, I am writing everything down. I have all the due dates set, and I should also say that even though I am in 8 pattern tests, technically I'm done with 2, and another one is almost done. I just need to finish his leaves. More on that when we come back and show you what I have to crochet. Let's look at some pretty safety eyes. Just a reminder, if you do your own resin glitter safety eyes, be sure to always have protective gear on. These are nitrile gloves. This is doubled up masks. And all my windows are going to be open, and I'll have the fan on so that it'll push everything out. Just remember that. Also, if you want to jump into making your own safety eyes, I'll link the playlists of how I make it, on how I make mine. And if you would like a more how I do it, how do I make sure which glitters, mica powder, alcohol ink is going to look good together, drop a comment and we'll have a nice eye painting session. So let's fast forward. This order only has 2 safety eyes. One is 18mm Ruby Kisses and the other one is 20mm Saturn. And I just love these glittery safety eyes. Once we get to the part where I'm packaging up all these orders to ship out, you're going to see a whole lot of different colors. One of my most popular colors are Lake Waters and Moon Guardian, because they're the perfect shades for the How to Train Your Dragon dragons. So Night Fury and Light Fury. But I do have a bunch of other different a bunch of other different, wow, glittery eyes for any occasion, for any plushie. I'm almost done with this order, and let's go back to where. Now that we're done with this, I'm going to let the room air out for a bit. In the meantime, let's go and organize the layouts that I have, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I package up my Save DI orders. In these boxes, I have all my layouts from 2016 and 2017. Well, the memory is from 2016 and 2017. My goal is to filter out the repeated layouts, so the repeated memories. If you saw my video from last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, I'll link it up here. I had the same photo, not the same memory, but different poses, different angles. No, it was the same exact photo in 3 layouts. So what do I do then? I pull those out, and I'm either going to give it to my mom or my aunt or my mother-in-law, so that they can have that memory documented as well. Put them in order as they're supposed to be, like from January to December. Pull out all of the extras and then see if I am missing any sort of memory from that year. So fast forward time, and I will see you on the flip side. So the time lapse recorded about 25 minutes of me just organizing by date into the plastic little tote that I have, and then pulling out the repeated layouts. All told, I have 112 layouts and or pocket pages for 2016. I pulled out 38 layouts that are repeated. So right now I have 74 layouts and or pocket pages to work with. I'm going to place them into the box one more time, and I'm gonna do like the final sift through to see if I can pull out any sort of layout that's going to be extra, so to speak. And then rinse and repeat, do the same thing for 2017. I won't record myself doing the same thing for 2017 because this video will then get like too monotonous and repetitive. But I will check back in once I'm done with organizing all of these layouts. Stay tuned. Okay, this is harder than I thought. Or at least, okay, maybe it's not harder. It's so time consuming. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm done with 2016 and 2017. So I was finally able to slim down the piles. There were a couple of layouts that belong to other years, because apparently I don't know how to like categorize. But I pulled those out so that I can like put them where they're supposed to be. And you kind of saw at the beginning that I had 2 boxes full of layouts. They all now fit in one box, which is amazing. And I am going to gift quite a few. I have like 50 scrapbook pages that I'm going to gift. The rest I'm going to stay with them. And I made a boo-boo. In my first video of me organizing my scrapbook layouts, I had mentioned that I was going to organize in boxes the older years. So anything before 2013 and so on and so forth was going to go into a box. And then as I started to look through the layouts and see that I had quite a bit, that changed into having the most recent years placed in albums because I don't have a lot of space to store albums upon albums upon albums of scrapbook layouts. But then again, I went ahead and already added into albums years 2014 and 2015. So I'm going to have to pull those out so that they can go into a box as well. And judging by what I have here, I think 2016 and 2017 are also going to be years that are going to be placed into the box as well. 2018 and 2019 are by far the years that have the most layouts made. So those will probably take me a whole afternoon to sift through, but hopefully I can start putting into albums either starting on 2018 or 2019, or maybe like a little mishmash of either. Now it's time for a little snack because I'm feeling a little peckish, and we're gonna go over to the scrap area, craft area, so to speak, and finish packing up the orders that have to be sent out today, and then we'll finally get to crocheting. So see you right now. Before we jump into the time lapse of packaging up the orders, I kind of want to give like the before I package them up sort of step-by-step thing that I do to make sure that I have all my orders in order. And usually when orders come in, I wait 1 or 2 days to see if one other order comes in so that I can make them all in like one sitting. Because if you've seen my how to make your own safety glitter eyes, there's a little bit of a prep for painting with resin. So bearing that in mind, I kind of like to batch my orders. When the orders come in, what I typically do is look at the amount of eyes, because based on the amount of eyes or the sizes of the eyes, it's the size of the box that I'm going to use. So far, I use mainly 3 sizes. One is 9 by 5, the other one is 9 by 5 by 4, 6 by 4 by 4, and 6 by 4 by 2. And as I mentioned, depending on the amount of eyes, the amount of the size of the eyes is the box that I pick. For this particular order, they had 10 pairs of eyes ranging from 25 millimeter and 30 millimeter. I'm gonna try and see. They had big eyes. So I pulled out, this is my 6 by 4 by 4 box, and once I'm done, everything will be nice and snug. Then once I have the box all set and ready to go, I print out the little packing slips so that I know this box goes with this order. And I also go ahead and print out the shipping label because, again, based on how much they weigh, I already know how much of the shipping fee is going to be in it. So once I have both those things, I put them in the box and then I kind of go shopping, because at times I have multiple orders of the same color, but I may over mix the glitters and have more resin left over. And then I just grab from my stash the blanks and make some more, and then I have those set aside for my personal use, or I sometimes include them as like as gifts in these in any of my orders. And sometimes an order will come in for that specific size with that specific color and it'll already be made. So it kind of also helps to keep the turnaround time for these safety eyes to be lower, to be shorter. So I go and check if I, just happen to have that color ready to go. If not, I grab my boxes of the safety eye blanks and I put into each of the boxes what they need. So all the blanks that they need. The other step, once I'm done with that, is I grab the stickers that I include as freebie, my business card, and it all goes into the box. After each of the boxes have all of those, I start to work on the orders from the smallest order. So if it's just one pair of eyes, I start with that one because then I paint that one and I'm done. But I also check to see, let's say that the one safety eye order is for lake waters, but then one of my bigger orders has lake waters as well. So I grab the safety eyes from that other order and paint those. So as I'm working through finalizing each of the, it's kind of like a snowball effect, if you will, where I start cranking out the smaller orders while at the same time working out the bigger orders so that, you know, everything's done in a timely fashion. So once everything's been painted, now we can finally finish up the packaging. I'm going to, this will be in the time lapse. So let me just stop rambling and let me show you how I do it. Okay, so when packaging up my safety eye orders, I package them up individually, meaning that each pair of eyes has its own little bag, and I'm using these pattern paper that I have plenty of because I also scrapbook. And what I do is I cut them into 2x3 rectangles and then add 2 holes into them. After that, I start to write the size and the name, and then I add the safety eyes into that, and then I seal them in that little bag that you see next to my hand. But before I do that, I also run them through this is a microfiber towel that I have, and it has rubbing alcohol on it, so I clean them like that. And then I just repeat that same exact process for each and every set of eyes. I do plan on getting some bigger bags for the future so that I can, if someone orders 3 pairs of lake waters in the size 30 millimeter, I don't have an issue. I can just place them all in the same bag. But for now, this is what I have to work with. See, I just love how it looks. And I just think that it also makes it a bit safer so that when they travel in the box, they don't get scratched or anything. I also add a bit of bubble or tissue paper, like bubble paper, you know, that popping bubble paper. Wow, I'm technical. And some tissue paper to help them survive the trip. So that's how I do all of my packaging and boxing up my orders. Now I need to repeat that whole process 5 more times for the remaining 5 orders. The other thing I forgot to mention that I am currently including is these lens wipes, because they work just as well as alcohol wipes. And since my business card, let me get it up. So my business card is a bit of a little like 4-in-1. It has my logo, it has my QR code, which it links you to my link tree, and then in the back I have care instructions. But I did both care instructions. So if you order plushies from me, the first instructions are how to take care of your plushie in the event you get some stains on your plushie. You can just use the first instructions, and then the bottom one is for safety eyes, which you can wipe clean with some rubbing alcohol and a microfiber cloth. But I know sometimes we don't have those on hand, so I'm adding these to the orders. So, you know, a little bit of like on the go cleaning. Next check-in will be crocheting. It's been a very productive morning. We finished and packaged up safety eye orders. We organized 2 years in scrapbook layouts, And we have already had lunch. We took a little break, and now we're going to start crocheting. So I have about 2 hours, more or less, before I have to head on out, drop off the orders at the post office, do a couple of errands, and then go and pick up the boys from school and do all the crazy stuff with them. So in those 2 hours, I hope to finish a pattern test that's actually, that all I have to do is just like finish it, close it up, and that's it. Oh, I forgot to mention, when I took a break to have lunch, I did take final photos and I filmed a reel for a pattern test that I finished. So of the 8 pattern tests, 2 are already done. The third one, it's actually, you kind of caught a glimpse of it when, like, in the first time lapse. It's a mandrake. The pattern is by Woolly Tunes, and I already made the legs. I just need to sew them on, and I started making the leaves yesterday. Now, here's the conundrum. The leaves don't need to be stuffed, so it's very much a takeaway sort of project. But should I take that away? You know, take it and work on it while I do stuff in the evening or in the afternoon? Or should I start working on a blanket? The issue with the blanket, well, it's not an issue. It's more like the whole details, the whole thing behind the blanket is that it's to make a quilt-like crocheted item or crocheted blanket. And I'm thinking about using whatever I have left with Parfait Chunky. Not Parfait Chunky, Basics Chunky, which are the colors that I have here. They were part of the girly pattern that I have and the girly blanket pattern, like the lacy farmhouse blanket pattern. And I also made another blanket, and I do have enough for 2 more blankets that I had planned on making. But then I shifted gears and my boys are getting 2 other different blankets. But I have those and I kind of want to use them up. And I figured that this would be a great project to do so. And I got this idea, and I'll try and remember to include the picture of it here, that I have 3 main colors. I have blue, green, and pink. Plus I have a light taupe and a dark taupe to mix in. And I kind of want to use as much as I can from the stash. So, in order to do that, I thought about doing like a gradient look for the blanket. And the thing I love about this pattern so far, I haven't touched it, I just looked at it, but at the end, like at the last page of the pattern, the designer, which is Hobbs Crochet, I'll link it up here, she included a diagram that you can color. So, and you know me, it's go big or go home. And I kind of want to make a blanket, a king-sized blanket. Maybe not blanket, but maybe like a bed coverall. And if I use an 8mm, which is the one that I used for both blankets that I made with Basics Chunky, I hope to have enough, and I hope I have enough time to do so, because for it to be king-sized, I'm thinking like if I can get each square to be about 9 inches across, so if it's 8 by, okay, so if it's 8 by 10, oh my goodness, mathing like on the fly, it's like, what? So if I get it to be 8 by 10, that would make it 72-ish inches by 90 inches, which would be I hope it's enough for a bed cover. But all that drama is going to be for another video, because right now let's just focus on the small makes. I will probably, instead of taking along the items to finish him, I do think I'm gonna take along my little blanket yarn, and well, not blanket, it's Basics Chunky, but take it along with me and see how I can, like, how big a square is going to be, and then I can probably go from there. So yeah, let's do that. Not me taking a short break to go yarn shopping in my stash. So this is these are the colors that I want to add in, just so that I can use up that stash in the background. I'm gonna try and fit them all here, hopefully. So this is what they are. So here we have like the pinks, then we have the light and dark taupe, and then I have like a light teal with a green over here, and I have a navy blue. Here we have the light blue. So my thought process is start in one corner with the greens, move towards the center with the blues, and then head on over to the other corner with the pinks, and hopefully go from there. I'm excited. I just hope I have enough time to achieve what I want. I do have some skeins that are white, or they're either white or like off-white, that if push comes to shove and I do run out of colored skeins, I can actually add like a border for them in those lighter colors. But yeah, let me just focus on the task at hand, and let's try and see if I can finish this other pattern test and officially knock it off my list. So this is the pattern test that all I need to do is add a little bit of stuffing to this part of the shell and weave in, like close the hole, weave in all of my ends, and it's done. It was a pattern test for Hooked with Love 23 for her new turtle and hare lovies. She has a lot of these cutesy lovies, and the pattern is just like, I was able to make it really, really fast. So if you're market prepping, definitely check out her video, her profile. And here I am finally attaching the legs to my mandrake. This mandrake, I feel like it has taken me quite a long time to finish, but it's not because the pattern is difficult or anything. It's just that I made the arms one day. Several days went by, and then I made the body. Several days went by, and then I made the legs. But as I'm doing the voiceover for this, he is done. And he is just so adorable. The pattern is by Woolly Tunes. And hopefully by the time this video is released, the pattern is released. If not, I'll link her profile down below so you can check it out as well. But it feels awesome to get things done, or as close as done as we can. One other thing that I'm trying to do, and this is just to be as organized as I can in this crazy crochet chaos, is that once I'm done with some pattern tests, is to check the yarn that I used and recake it if I need to recake it, and then go ahead and put it aside. Now, that is what I try to do. I don't always follow through with it. At the time that I was filming this, I did have a huge pile on my desk of yarn that needed to be worked through, but it's a practice that I kind of like to do so that I can kind of have an idea of how much yarn I used, how much yarn I have left, and just overall be a bit more organized. And I think we can all
do with that.
All right, so this is the last update for this video. I don't want it to get too long, and we basically accomplished all that we set out to do, which was package up the last safety eye orders, organize scrapbook layouts, knock off a few pattern tests. So we made it. Now granted, I should mention, I am not always this busy. There are some days where I just don't come into the craft area because I'm doing a couple of things around the house. Or maybe if I'm working on a blanket, maybe I'll just sit on the couch and crochet for a bit in between things. So it's not always like this, but it was nice to see how I was able to do both of my hobbies, of my crafts, in basically a whole morning, because now we start the good stuff, because I have to pick up the boys. We need to do, you know, homework, run a couple of errands, do a bunch of things, family stuff. So craft wise, we were able, hang on, oh, there we go. Craft wise, we were able to do quite a bit. In terms of what I was able to crochet in the time lapse, you saw that I finished, this is a turtle lovey, and I think that the idea that the shell is actually slightly stuffed. So the shell is worked differently from the body, and the body is stuffing less. It's just amazing. I love it. I love it. So I was able to finish it off. You also saw that I added the legs to my mandrake. Now I need to just work on its leaves and then add the little scraggly bits of roots here, and he would be done. But I went ahead and started on Puddles the Ducky, and it's another pattern test. So if I finish Puddles tomorrow, hopefully, and the mandrake as well, I would have knocked out 4 of the 8 pattern tests, which is not bad. Not bad at all. The others have a deadline that's more towards like the 15th and 16th of this month, so I do have a bit to work on them. Now, before I rush out the door, I will take final photos of the turtle lovey. Make sure that I grab my yarn to work on the quilt style crochet blanket that I'm testing for. And yeah, I hope you liked today's video where you caught a glimpse of my crazy crafty chaos. I'll see you next time with another video. Till then, stay crafty. Bye.